All right, the most wanted man for SA Boxing Talks chat is here, Damien Durandt. Finally, we're getting the interview. Thank you for coming back to South Africa and giving us some time. How are you feeling?
Feels good to be called up by Hayden Bruce. So at least there's a reason to come back. No, Hayden, everything's good. Just the cold winter that everyone's experiencing. I think it's hit us hard and fast. So all's good, brother. I've got Brian Taser fighting this weekend, and then in 2 weeks' time we've got Ivan Gabu defending his IBO World Championship in Congo. So some exciting times.
It is exciting talking about the fights. Obviously, Brian's young in the game, limited professional experience, but that's part of the excitement of the sport is, building new sort of prodigies.
Yeah, sure. Also the problem is the amateur system in South Africa is not great. So you tend to find these guys they don't turn pro, like they got a pro at a young age, but they come with limited experience. So unfortunately, you've just got to build these guys right, and it's a little bit difficult because Brian is in the light heavyweight division, and as you know, South Africa, it's not a booming division, so you just got to find the right opponents. I want to build him nice and steady. This will be his fourth pro fight. I think his fourth four-rounder. So then, from here we'll move on to 6-rounders and slowly build him. I'm not in a rush. He's only 24 years old, and I expect good things from Brian. He is a taser, 100%. He's shown it through and through in the gym. Like, he's tough, and he takes a good shot, like the tasers all do. And I think based on his last performance, on his last fight, he had a really tough customer in front of him, and he pulled through nicely. And I'm excited about his future. I just want to build him nice and steadily.
Has there been any talk potentially of mapping out a route one day? I know Dylan Pross has also signed with Golden Gloves Promotions to maybe navigate them towards fighting each other.
It's a possibility. We've seen it before. We saw the 4 at War where the guys collided, and it could make sense down the line. But I think it should make sense when guys are more established, they've got more experience, and then the fight fans get better value for their money. Matching them too early in their career, it's not great for either ones. I think we need to build both of them with excitement and then see what the future presents. At the end of the day, this is a sport, but it is a business. And when the two come together, it needs to be worthy.
You're no stranger to 4 at Wars. Obviously, you won it with Brandon Taser, the brother of Brian. What's happening with Brandon?
Brandon will be out soon. He'll be out on another Golden Gloves tournament soon. Obviously, I need to respect the promoter's duty of announcing his own tournament, but Brandon is out. He's started training, so he'll be out soon.
All right, and obviously exciting. Let's talk about the last fight, if we can go back. Darren Rousseau. I think a lot of people were surprised how close the fight was, if I can put it that way. What was your take on it?
Definitely, it was a great fight. I give Darren the credit where it's due. I think the boy rose up on the night. I think he knew he had the toughest customer of his career, and he obviously wanted to give it everything. It could change the direction of his career if he got a win over Brandon. So he came 100% prepared. I think he put everything on the night. Brandon's just seasoned and experienced and just navigated the fight well. At moments, I did try and push Brandon to get a knockout, but I'll give Darren that. He's got a great chin. He showed good hand speed. I do have a question, and I said it to his team, like there could be a possibility he's a welterweight, because I don't see the punch power like I have seen in so many junior middleweights. I've been good fights with junior middleweights, with the Manny overseas. Manny's been in great junior middleweight fights. Brandon, Rourke, Shavante, the guys all pack a good solid shot, and I don't think that Darren holds that kind of power for the junior middleweight division. I think with his hand speed and the attributes and the chin that he showed against Brandon, I think at welterweight he'll be a great prospect at welterweight. So that's up to him and his team. I don't know his weight situation, but he doesn't look like a guy that carries a lot of weight. And to be honest, it's also, I think, someone for the future of South African boxing. I think he's an asset and a good prospect for the future.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely saw him rise to the occasion. I agree with you on that one. There was a call-out as well, not really a call-out, but maybe a mention on Hisham Mayet's interview where maybe, in like 3-4 fights time, he advises Darren to maybe call out Brandon again, depending where Brandon is in his career as well. What's your takes on that?
Yeah, look, anything can happen in boxing. We've seen it before, but to be honest, when that time comes, my goal is for Brandon to be fighting at an international level. I've been building Brandon at local level. He's had one proper international fight against Finland. The goal is for for him to at some point fight another international, and that's why I want to build Brandon's career. You know, he needs to make good money in his career, and he needs to put himself out there. And we've had little stumbling blocks along the way, and a lot of that comes down to personal issues, and he's dealt with it like a real man because he's been through a lot. And I'm very proud of my fighter for doing that. And right now we're in a great headspace. We're focusing on the future, and Brandon wants to accomplish everything he can in boxing. So the goal is obviously to go international. You know, Darren's still in a building phase of his career. Will they meet again? We don't know. You know, I can understand. I've been in the same position where you lose a fight and you want to have a rematch, and those things are what you want as a trainer, as a manager, even as a boxer. You know, you always want to try and redeem those losses. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it can be the other way around. You could win the first affair and lose the second. You know, and it's a different game.
Yeah, it's kind of like similar to like Boyd Allen and Brandon, you know, back in the days, you know.
Definitely, and the same happened with Rourke and Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon won the first one, Rourke won the second one. At the end of the day, it lived up to great fights, you know, and
Those are good fights.
it was an unbelievable fight. You know, also a Koopman fight is something I would also like to chase for Brandon. There I am chasing a rematch. So we all want to chase the rematches because we sometimes feel we want to do better. And we feel we can do better, so I can understand their perspective. Right now, is that our goal? No. That's maybe their goal. They need to work towards their goal, and if it's a possibility, who knows?
I want to follow the theme of getting better because I've seen even Gabu, you know, just going from strength to strength. You know, the win over Floyd Mason in the last fight, he went to war. I'm expecting another war again, you know, just based on his fighting style. He's fighting in the DRC for the first time. Both yourself and Tariq did a fantastic job getting him to get there. What's your take on that fight?
Yeah, look, we all know Mexicans are tough. I'll always give a Mexican credit where it's due. We know they're tough. They come from hard upbringings, and I'm sure Martinez is going to try to take his opportunity. He's fighting for a world title. You know, it can change your career. So there's those things that come into play. I just feel like I have a well-experienced fighter. We've had time to work together, and I just see him growing from strength to strength. Yves also has a lot of experience with southpaws, so it's not like something he's not used to. You know, he's very comfortable with southpaws, and I just believe Yves destined for some really big things at the cruiserweight division, and unfortunately Kevin Martinez is in the way, and yeah, we've just got to deal with Kevin Martinez and then look on to the next step. I have to commend Tariq for his hard work on this. He put great efforts into making sure this all takes place, and the support that we have from the DRC. And I know Yves really excited, and I know he really wants to put on a solid performance for his family and the people of the DRC. So it's an exciting part of his career. I'd say a new chapter being for him fighting in the DRC, and yeah, I think it's a great experience for him. He's learnt a lot being here with us, and I see some big things happening for him in the future.
And obviously a good win, right?
Definitely, you know. Bongani Magasela asked me my prediction for the fight, and I just said I think he will win by knockout.
Yeah, well, that's his style as well, isn't it? It's just he goes out there, and that's also a style of the gym, is you don't leave anything to the judges.
Of course, you know, if you have the ability to take control with your own hands, that's what you've got to do. And you know, I go back to Yves' controversial loss against Tischenko in Russia. We believe we won the fight. A lot of people believe we won the fight, and I know Yves at that point just wanted to see how the fight goes, and I think if we went in with a more of a killer mentality, we could have stopped Tischenko. But look what happened to Tischenko. In his next fight, he became the WBA Bridgerweight World Champion. So it just shows the level of who Yves Ngabu is, you know, and there's a lot more to the man that people don't know, and how dangerous he is, and he's a real threat in the cruiserweight division.
Right, so we move from Ivan Gavu to another interview that I did today with Simeon Muller. Obviously, it's not breaking news. He's been in the gym for a couple months now, but it's going to be breaking when he gets back in the ring, and we get to see what changes he's made. What have you made of his development since he's joined?
Look, you know, Samir comes from a different background to all the other kids in my gym, so I've given him time to gel with everyone, and he's connecting well with everyone in the gym. And I didn't want to rush to get him another fight. You know, I've told him to sit back, put the work in the gym, get to understand your environment and what we expect of you and the things we're trying to work on, so that when he comes out hopefully in September he looks good. I'm not in a. If you know me as a person, as a manager, I don't rush to keep my guys in fights too quickly that join me. I like them to develop, and I like them to put on good performances. And because at the end of the day, this is the entertainment game. We've got to give fans great fights, and the only way we can do that is if our fighters rise up and they put in the good work and they're ready for their fight. So I've got the same trajectory for Samir. It was a time off out of the ring, more focus on the gym, seeing how deep he can go, exposing him to a new level of boxing, putting him with good sparring, and he's enjoying the environment. He's got a solid head on him. He's not scared to put in the work, and I appreciate that. He's not lazy, and I see a strong, sound mind, and I think the kid's got something, and I just want to see, because there's a lot of things that were done in the past that I feel were wrong, and maybe that's why he's in the junior featherweight division. I want to see how we go in our next fight at junior feather. If we make the weight quite comfortably, there may be a possibility I move him down to bantamweight. But I need to work with him maybe 1 or 2 fights just to see how we get to the divisions, and then we can see what's the proper plan here.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. He's obviously an exciting fighter, as most undefeated fighters are. But he's got a different style as well. He's a big mover. Guy like Jackson shares similar traits. Obviously, Jackson's got pedigree, a lot more pedigree. But Jackson Chowkela, well, let's just sit on that topic now. He's the RBO champion. There was rumors of him fighting Ricardo Matachica. Those fell through. What's the plan now?
Yeah, there's plans with Jackson. I would say I'm fortunate enough to have multiple options for Jackson, and I think that's a good position to be in. And there'll be something for Jackson real soon. I was hoping to have him out by end of July. That didn't materialize, but it's okay. It's boxing, Sometimes things take a little bit longer, but there's options and there's talks and there's things happening, and we'll see Jackson out soon.
And at the age of 39, I know we keep asking this every interview, but is he still ticking along nicely?
It's ticking along great. I said to him yesterday, we were. I think Eve was busy training and Jackson was standing by me and we were talking. So I said, he was actually lacing up his boots.
Okay.
And I said, how many more years are we going to lace up these boots? And he said, maybe we go till I'm 45. And truth be told, he doesn't look 39 at all. Jackson's so fresh. He spars young fighters. He's been fighting young fighters and he just looks good. And obviously I keep an eye on him. He's been in the game a long time, but he's fresh. He's so fresh, and I just hope there'll be some big fights for him. The flyweight division has opened up. Martinez has vacated the belt, and there's obviously other stories about Martinez. Bam Rodriguez has moved back up to junior bantamweight. Sonny Edwards has moved down to light flyweight, but Jackson and Sonny Edwards have been going back and forth at each other, so there's a possibility maybe we see that down the road. I think Yafai's scared to fight Jackson, to be honest. I've tried, but Yafai's not biting, so maybe they've got their own plans, but I just don't think Yafai wants to mix with Jackson. We'll see. There's a couple of other names. I don't want to give away too much because we are in talks of Jackson fighting soon, so yeah, just wait and see.
All right. And Baby G is also in the gym as well. He's obviously probably one of the most exciting prospects that there are going around in South Africa. He's managed to find his way onto a few cards in KwaZulu-Natal and, sort of kept his career moving. Is there any news on him yet?
Yes. Baby G will be out soon. Also, I have to respect the promoter in announcing their tournament, but he will be out real soon. He's actually just started camp. So, yeah, it's exciting to see him back out. He'll be making a defense of his South African title. And another one, maybe 2-3 SA title defenses will move on to an African title or onto an international title. And then, we'll take it from there. He's settled nicely at 63.5 kilos. We've seen in his last 3 fights. And he dethroned the South African champion in style. So he's definitely a good prospect for South African boxing, and I'm excited about his future.
100%. I mean, that's a good one. I wanted to maybe just thinking on the spot here, throw out a name like is he ready then for like a Marius Matamba or someone like that?
Yeah, look, but I don't know. I think Marius might be at welterweight, isn't he? Yeah, I don't think he's at 63 anymore. I think he moved to 66 about 3-4 years ago. So there's a fight I would like to see down the line. I would like to see Nkosi versus Nomeva. I think that will be an interesting fight. Normeva's got all the experience. Devin Haney fights in Russia, fights in the US. He's got a hell of a lot of experience, former IBO world champion, former South African champion. So he's a guy with a great CV, and I would love to see that fight in the future. And I think Normeva's goal is to try and get another fight in the US at some point. And look, maybe when he comes back from the US, we can look at getting it on for the South African title. I think it'll be an interesting fight, and I think the fans would love that fight.
Because I only get an interview with you every 6 months, I've got to ask the questions, got to get these questions in while I can. Junior Makabu, are we still boxing or we're not boxing? What's happening? Because it's been so quiet. Maybe something's bubbling behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I think what a lot of people don't know is that Junior's got a tournament going. It's called the Makabu Trophy, which is the final is being staged on the 28th of June, which is the day before Eve's World Championship. So he's actually done a development program. The quarterfinals, so he took, I think, 7 male divisions and 2 female divisions, and they fought in February in a quarterfinal. And then the kids that won moved on to the semi-final, which took place, I think, beginning of April. Yeah, beginning of April, end of April. I stand to be corrected. And the semi-finals happened, and now the finals are taking place. And this is Junior's way of promoting and his way of identifying the talent in the DRC for the future. So he's got an invested interest in promoting boxing in the DRC, and he wants to see boxing grow in his country. And I think a lot of boxers say they're going to become promoters when they retire from boxing, but a lot of them don't. It's nice to see Junior doing it, and Junior will be fighting again. Okay. So he's just needed a rest. Last year was a very big year, 2 world championship fights, and he just needed some time to reflect, focus on a few things. He's excited about boxing. He's excited about his Makabu Trophy project, and when he's done with this, then the focus is on him getting out in the ring again.
Yeah, I was impressed by the DRC amateur team as well that came out here, that fought in South Africa as well. They pretty much cleaned up and won everything. Are you potentially looking to maybe do a filter program, bringing some of the best fighters? Because your gym is known to take very good DRC fighters. Are you looking at that as maybe a filter program?
Definitely. Obviously Junior's goal is to promote boxing in the DRC and identify talent, and obviously I would work alongside with him to build these guys. It's just identifying the right ones. And like you said, the amateur team is, when they came down to Durban, they were solid, and they've got a lot of experience. They travel a lot, and I think the amateur program is really, really good. The Congolese Boxing Federation, they really invest their time and efforts into making sure that their amateurs stay active, that they travel and gain the experience. And it's something I'd like to see for the South African boxing amateur team. So they're doing a great job. Now the key is to try and develop professional boxing in the DRC and then complete the whole puzzle.
100%. Is there anything, lastly, that I know we got other things. We got like Aaron Muteba, we got Marcus Lebojo in the gym as well, which may not happen against Ngange. We have to see what happens in the future.
Yeah. So I've been offered a fight for Marcus and Ngange. There's a possibility that fight's going to happen. I'm waiting for the contract. The two have been going back and forth on Facebook. I'm so tired of seeing this one say that and that one saying this. They must just fight. It'll be nice to see. For Marcus, it's how can I say it? It's a career-defining fight. I think for Ngange, it's the same. So it's an important fight for both of their careers, and then it determines what they've got left to offer in the sport of boxing. Aaron Muteba, one of my most exciting prospects. I know you enjoy him, Hayden, and he's also going to be out soon and have to respect the promoter, and it's up to them to announce it, but I'm sure you've also got a little bit of wind that he'll be out soon. So an exciting prospect. I want to develop him. Let's see. Things, we've had a bit of a tricky year to boxing this year, and that's why I haven't said to you, Hayden, come, let's sit and let's talk, because there's been so much going on with the Minister of Sports. There's been so much going on with the boxing board, and it's just like been a difficult year to start. And now we've had elections, and I believe it's affected guys from getting funding for tournaments, and that's why things have just been a bit slow. So I'm hoping the second half of the year things will really start to ramp up and we'll all get busy, and there'll also be a couple of international things happening as well. The international markets are opening up nicely. They're now going to summer, so it'll be a little bit quiet, but then straight afterwards, it's full action till December. So the European market tends to go into like their summer holiday now. So the guys take a bit of a break, and then they go full steam from like end of July right through till December. So we should see a couple of us South Africans featuring overseas as well.
Well, love to see it. Obviously, seeing our guys fighting overseas, nothing brings us more pride than to see our own boxers winning and traveling well overseas. Do you have anything last you want to say, Damien?
Hayden, I just always want to thank you. You always give us the platform to talk and express our views, and I think you're great for South African boxing. And I'd just like to see your channel grow more and more and more. And just thank you to our sponsors in the gym, Simpson Safes, Kappa, to all the sponsors that look after my fighters and help them. Genuinely, we couldn't do it without you. You know, it's a tough game. You know it, and the guys go through busy periods, quiet periods, and when the sponsors are there, it really helps. And I'm looking forward to what the rest of the year presents. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Adam.